in the web stack in general that we serve, or the web application stack, has different elements and where it's relevant. So you have relevancy in terms of, do I have SSL at all? Today, it's very clear that Google says you need SSL in general. As I remember, later this year, Google will actually say, give you a message in your browser that if your website is not SSL enabled, that for the customers of the website that come to your website will actually say that this website is unsecure, you shouldn't be there. So you need SSL in general. That's what we solve through the partnership with DigiCert, with the encryption everywhere. The second part is when you go more advanced, when you have more critical websites like e-commerce, web shops, maybe portals with a lot of different users, self-care portals, whatever you need proper certificates. Why I say proper certificates? I mean the premium certificates that are available through the integration with DigiCert, where you get certain assurances included and all that nice stuff that you need, that you get on one click as well. Then you have the whole topic about email security, where certificates are very important as well. Plesk runs 19 million mailboxes worldwide, globally, using our software through our channel. There's so many hackers. They are not hacking your specific website. They are hacking hundreds of thousands or millions of websites at the same time with a huge network just to find one that is actually broken. And you know, the unfortunate part is also when you look at WordPress, for example, this is 30% of the market of websites globally, small and big, is WordPress. But it's also one of the biggest target of hackers globally. So if we want to have a good WordPress experience to manage WordPress, we also need to provide a secure WordPress. I think this is a key thing. But the same thing is all these elements that we mentioned about security before, they are equally applicable for Joomla, for Drupal, for whatever you actually run on Plesk. You know, I mean, SSL is one part and one component, but security is a lot of components. And again, it creates trust if you are able to create a secure way of operating websites. When we go back to the 14 years ago, you know, hosting was a small niche. Everyone was cool, everyone was doing hosting, nobody understood it outside of the hosting industry. This is at the time where at the hosting industry event we had 100 people, like on the CloudFest. And today there is like 6,500 people coming to the CloudFest. You know, it's a different world. And then in the early 2000s, Amazon came in and said, oh, I could use our infrastructure that we use for our global warehouses and all the IT, we could also offer that to the public. And so they made it public. And I think most of the hosting companies were actually laughing at it and say, oh, Amazon, the bookshop is offering infrastructure now as well. And I think some people are still laughing and they don't stop, but I think it will be their problem one day, because Google and Microsoft and Alibaba thought the same way. Plus you have new players on the market like DigitalOcean that actually have a very different value proposition, because traditionally the hosting companies, they're offering availability, they offer infrastructure, and they offer service at a very good price. But everyone can do that. Every hoster offers that, and every hyperscaler offers that as well. On top of it, Amazon and Google and Alibaba and Microsoft and maybe DigitalOcean, they offer first the global reach, meaning they have global data centers all over the continents. They invest billions of dollars in that infrastructure. We're talking about economies of scale that most of the hosting companies cannot afford to do unless they find this kind of funds as well. Third is breadth of products and innovation. I think there is a threat there because the end customers are moving to these hyperscalers now. But there is also an opportunity. I would say two opportunities. There's one opportunity for Plesk to be more focused on us in that part, where it gives us the opportunity to focus even more on the end customer, to market to the end customer, to get feedback from the end customer, and really making sure that if they would have traditionally been hosted at the hosting provider with Plesk, if they go to the hyperscaler, that we provide at least the same value, if not even more value, by adding more services there and into Plesk, and really enable Plesk as a tool to create targeted, pre-configured, pre-installed solutions solving certain problems in certain areas. The second thing is there is an opportunity for hosting companies as well. But equally, what hosting companies need to know is that opportunity the traditional system integrators and all the rest of the IT industry are seeing as well. That each and every other player who cannot get economies of scale in that space will transform to some sort of managed service provider. That means you need to start understanding what are your customers doing on your infrastructure. What kind of problems could I actually solve more for my customers? And your end customers don't care if these workloads are on your infrastructure in the hosting company or if that is on the hyperscale cloud. They want the service, they want it all available, and they want to solve their problem. That's all what is count, and this is also where the margins are in the future. If you see it on a graph where I think the y-axis is flexibility and the x-axis is complexity, I think then it depends what kind of problems you're looking at. So if you just say create a very simple website, you probably don't need Plesk, to be very honest. So the very simple websites today, they are moving to Wix.com, they are moving to Weebly, to Google Sites, to all these guys where they're cloud-based services that are just click together your website, get it online. And then on the right side of the graph, where complexity and flexibility needs to be highest, and where you have not just simple apps, but software as a service that need to be highly scalable. There you talk about hyperscale-based global infrastructure that is based on microservices, where all these hundreds of components that Plesk is managing on the same server are all separated to a lot of mini servers, and you automate it and you make it auto-scaling globally so that your application is architected in a very different way. This is obviously where Plesk is not today. We are obviously starting to going in that direction. I would say we are more in between. So if you need more than this cheap, simple website creation from the Wix.com, but you don't have a budget or aspirations to go hyperscale also with your application, we are giving you, I would say, our goal is to be a self-driving car. You know, that you say it's as simple as the shared hosting in the past, but it gives you the scalability of server or servers to actually scale your applications. But with the goal, as we say, we simplify the lives of web professionals. The key thing for embracing change, in my opinion, is first accept that there is a change. Make your homework and go to work. If you're in a comfort zone, move out of that comfort zone and really do it. And maybe the third thing I would say is learn. So as we are in a time that is changing faster than ever before, invest time in reading books, in listening to podcasts, in reading Facebook groups, be part of all these communities, go to meetups, learn from people that have maybe more experience in certain space, and try to adapt. Whatever works, push it, and whatever doesn't work, stop doing. I think all that together will help you embracing the change.